2000 Ford Contour. Cannot stay out of the shop. It just loves being in here. Actually, it's been a reliable, absolute machine right here. We are dealing with a lean code, and it is surgy under load at idle. So you let it start it up, let it run for a minute, put it in gear, reverse or drive, and it will start to surge. So we're going to check the most likely culprits, air intake stuff, vacuum leak stuff, and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, a couple of hose clamps, a couple of small bolts. We're down to the throttle body. Doesn't look super dirty. Inside there a little bit, but not bad. Clean that out. I think we're going to pull the idle air control right off the side right there. See if there's any carbon built up there. Air filter looks pretty good. Got that off, no problem. Just cleaned out the mass airflow, and that looks okay. Factory chalk mark on the airbox. There you go. So, we're getting somewhere. So our initial checks were cleaning the throttle body, cleaning the idle air control, making sure there's no restrictions or obstructions, cleaning out the mass airflow, air filter looks good or whatnot. So we're going to start her up. It's going to be a little unhappy because it had brake fluid in the intake. That's okay. Brake clean. Yeah, don't put brake fluid in the intake. Brake clean in the intake. So, you want to get back down to normal idle. So it's still under closed loop because it's full. So, okay, we're going to put it in drive. You see that amount must be starting to loosen up a little bit there. And let's see if it starts to run rough on us. Sounds a little fluttery. Yeah, before we started the channel, we had timing belt, new plug, new wires, all the new accessories. Did we do a water pump on this? Yeah. Oh, that's right, water pump. We accidentally forgot to check the bolts once on the pulley, and yeah, they okay, let's go back in park. And we'll probably go drive it for a little bit, and then we'll probably come back. And we'll see if it's happy. So we went through and did what we thought we needed to do, cleaned out everything. She's still running rough. You can hear it not running so good.
It's very sucky.
So you spray a little brake cleaner.
If we can find it.
You spray a little brake cleaner. It speeds up slightly. So, we just did this off camera, and it worked perfectly. And it clearly was sucking in probably an intake right over here, we're thinking. So, oh, hear it? Okay, we're good to go to this. So, we are probably going to be shopping for some intake gaskets and see what happens from there. Ford virus.
Alright, battery's
So,
corroding again.
we are going to do a little diagnosis here. We got the star of the show doing the thing. You can hear the intake. Ooh. You hear it kind of hiss and stuff right there. So we got some intake gaskets. And this is there somewhere. Okay, we're gonna see. Oh, she's running good. Okay, we're gonna be a professional full service shop here and do that. We got some nice art now. We're starting to put up in the shop. Oh yeah, 1776. Imagine being a bicentennial baby if you were born in 1976. Imagine that, right? Okay, here we go. Anyway, so take off your upper intake plenum kind of thing. Just a couple 10 mil for that. 2 studs, and then 1 bolt hole right there. And we should be able to just get the intake away a little bit, get the gaskets in, and then sneak it back in. We're gonna try to mess with as little as we can. Okay, that is our update, and we're getting after it. So we got a handful of the bolts out already. It looks like we should be able to get in here. They're all 10 mil. There's a stud on one end, a stud on the other end, and just 6 or 7, 6?
We don't quite know.
About 6-ish in the middle. If we have to take the throttle body off to get at some of the bottom ones, we will, but we don't have a gasket, so we're gonna try to leave everything as is. They're Loctited in. You can feel them pop when they come loose. And as always, a little cardboard box action to keep track of where you got. So like I said, there's a stud in the corner, and then bolts. So if math is on our side, we have bolt 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, stud. So now we are going to attempt to wiggle the intake a little bit and see what it does for us. Wiper blade's magnetic now that we know. Milwaukee's sort of magnetic now we know. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I don't think we're gonna get it off with the alternator right here. It looks like it's gonna hit the stud. It's gonna, when it tries to slip off the stud, it's gonna hit it.
Okay, grab the Sawzall. We're just gonna cut the, oh, hold on, maybe not the Sawzall.
You see, that's the point of concern. It might slip by.
She's tight. Okay, so that might be also far enough out to get the gaskets in. Now with these, you know what? We get the made in America gaskets. Well, this says domestic and Japanese. I don't know if that's, oh, Taiwan. And there's an eagle on it. That's how you sell stuff.
Oh, man.
So those are the little gasket guys. So we might be able to get it far enough to get those in. So we will report back. Okay, updates. We can wiggle the intake, but we are going to not be able to get by the alternator from what we can determine. So we're going to take off our serpentine belt because we've taken it off 43 million times on this.
Because somebody wanted to try to save the AC and they ended up destroying it anyway. So.
Well, we may disagree on that. We did get a shorter belt to bypass the AC since it didn't quite work anymore. So we just left it on, and instead of trying to get a dummy pulley or anything like that, or buy a new AC compressor, because the college student who now graduated, owner of the car, it's not in their budget to buy one of those guys. So we'll take off the alternator, or maybe we can just loosen it and roll it back out of the way, and see where that gets us. We got a bird on the other side of the wall attacking us. So we have a gap now.
And we have a removed alternator.
We have an alternator that's now dislodged from its home, so we could get the intake back. There's some kind of a PVC or something rubber hose underneath that's binding us right now.
That PCV is not. It's loose under there right now.
So there's something going on. We are going to try to do that with just that 3/4 of an inch clearance that we could get if we pry it out on the studs. And everything else is loose, out of the way, cruise control. This guy doesn't think we can do it. I think we can do it.
I have.
We only need this much clearance to get in there. So these are kind of nice. They fit right in. They got a little button, a little tangy guy that sneaks in there. So we're gonna see what we can do, and we're so close to getting off the whole way, but it just won't. It just will not cooperate.
I think you're just still binding on the studs back here.
Will not cooperate for us, but we're close. We can do that. Okay, thank you much. We'll be back. Semi-victory. We got it open enough to get to them. We have an essential service tool piece of wood that kind of wedges it in there. There's a lot of wiring harness stuff that runs on the back side of the intake, which is not as flexible as it was 24 years ago. So we're trying to minimize our movement and all that, so we can kind of get in there a little bit. Oh, we get in there a little bit, and get what we need to get. So we're getting them all out. We're gonna go through and clean. Hear that? I think it's a giant pigeon that lives up there.
Yeah, and there's a bunny that has a home on the bottom.
We're gonna pound. It's trying to speak to us in Morse code, maybe. So these look okay. Which one is this one?
One all the way on the very end.
Okay. How's that guy look?
Seems a little crispy.
Yeah, I thought they'd come out all like broken, but they actually look pretty bendy still. So this is the number 4 all the way over. So it's definitely hissing more on that side. Still bendy though. This one does feel more crispy compared to the others. Definitely a little bit harder. Okay, here comes number 3. Then we're going to clean it. Then we're going to sneak those guys in, get a little grease on them, sneak them in so they fit good, and start slapping it back together. So we have intakes out, a little bit of grease on the new guys.
The intake's out?
The gaskets. You can see the blue guys in there a little bit. So there's a nice groove in the intake side. They kind of fit in. We got some little tangers that they fit in like that. I'll shut off my work light. And we're hoping this will do what it needs to do. There could be some other vacuum lines or whatever here and there that need some extra help, but it sure sounded like the way it ran that it was a pretty good vacuum leak coming right out of the intake there.
Pretty powerful.
So we were, gosh, it's been 6 months since we said we were going to work on this. Looking back at our notes, it was December that we first dug into this to look at that. Here's what we did. We took a little piece of wood. We used Mr. Sawzall. We got dust action, and just kind of pounded it in there to get it far enough back to get in there with some picks and some screwdrivers, and some screwdrivers with a dental pick hiding on the top. And just to get stuff in there, and then a nice flat screwdriver to get all the tangs pushed in. And thankfully, we have a acrobatic mechanic here that can do all those things. So it shouldn't take us a ton longer to pack it up. And in honor of Grandpa, we put the clock in military time over here. We got a new clock, so you can always know what time it is. 1,300 hours, which is what time? 1:08. We got this.
You just keep on counting it for 12.
That's easy, right?
It is easy.
It is easy.
I think all clocks should change that.
Ooh, military time over here. So, to the medical world too. Medical world. We got a new air filter to go in. She's nothing fancy, but it'll work. These clips come off sometimes. You gotta put that back on. I don't even know what this filter is. What do we got? Made in China, product of China. Okay, well, looks like it's been there a while. If I go by the date code, I don't know. It's old. So we got the EcoGuard going in. Amazonian special. Intake gaskets, I think we're Rock Auto special. Next project coming up. You see we got a diff gasket. And outer wheel bearings, outer seals for our Chevy 10 bolt and one of our Suburbans. That's got
The tires are 12.
10 bolt. 12 typically is like your higher performance. We can count the bolt holes on our gasket too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 bolt. So we will sneak that back in, button her back together. The alternator was kind of a bear because the alternator worked back up into place. Yeah, you would not be able to get that intake out with an alternator in place. It hits one of the runners. So we were trying, but as always, we try to move as little as we can to get the stuff done, just to make it easier to put back together. So. Good running unit. Hopefully we can get her back to its good running unitness. Going down the highway, going down the freeway, it runs fine. It runs clean, gets good mileage still, almost 30. But at idle with a load, it's unhappy. So we're getting there.